Hey, Catherine, thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. So welcome to Indispensable Appraisers. And have an easy question for you. Start off with what in the valuation space, what are we winning at?
Ooh, well, the first thing that comes to mind is data and analytics. It's one of the things that, I recall back in the day, and I'm going to say that a lot because I've been in this business for a while, but appraisers were the custodians of all the data transactions. If you wanted to get the details, that's where you went. We're the ones who held it in big banks of file cabinets and things like that. And today, that's not the case. We're not the custodians of that data. We may be the ones that validate that data and provide additional detail within our reports. That's a true statement. But having access to larger banks of data has been a great win for our industry. It not only helps us be better appraisers, it helps us address collateral risk better than we've ever done before. And I think with that access to data, we can only grow in more ways than we possibly can even think of today. So I think we're really winning on that front.
Great. And what do you think? And again, this is more of a broad statement to the valuation space, but what do you think is our greatest challenges?
Well, I think there's two. Just as I said, we've won with bringing a lot of data to the table. The other part is embracing change. So, you've got all this data and analytics available to you. Are you, as an appraiser or an institution with a valuation team, are you able to leverage that and change with it? Are you able to shift your focus and look at things more broadly? So I think that's one of the things that we have a challenge doing as an industry. The other part is navigating our regulatory framework. And I think that's a big one for me because if you think about it, we've got so many people that have something to say about how the valuation profession works. So we can say the appraisal subcommittee, we can say the appraisal foundation, we can say our agencies, FDIC, OCC, CFPB, we can talk about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, VA, FHA, HUD. Everyone wants to talk about how the appraisal industry should work. That's really difficult in navigating all of that. When the interagency appraisal and evaluation guidelines came out back in 2010, this is a very long time ago, it did provide us with some guidelines that helped us sort of navigate all of that from an institutional standpoint. But that doesn't address all stakeholders and users of valuation. So I think that is part of the biggest challenge is how to navigate that clearly for each different participant or stakeholder in the industry. That's a tough one. And when you have that many people speaking to how the valuation profession should behave or work, you have to question the interest of the person or group that's trying to enact that change. And in my mind, there should be no self-serving interest at all. And it should be someone or some entity that can help us bring it all together in one voice. So,
Great. Thank you for that answer. And what suggestions would you come up with to improve?
well, I think I'll just piggyback on what I just said. I think a single source of truth, a single administration that manages the oversight of the valuation profession, and one that has no self-serving interest, and one that we can all look to for guidance and understanding of what we should be doing and how we protect the end users of the valuation products that we develop. Having multiple voices the way that we have it now really impacts the way that we can drive positive change. And so I think if we have one administration to help us through that, instead of having multiple states and multiple agencies, I think that will really help us drive positive change and keep us invested in what we do today because we're a very important piece of the lending and credit decision, and that will help us better serve our our stakeholders.
Great. Well, Catherine, I definitely appreciate your time. You know, you covered a lot of different topics: collateral risk, access to data, embracing change, which I think is a huge one, regulatory framework, and single source of truth. So I appreciate you taking your time to be on the podcast. Again, you being a lighthouse, so I appreciate you being here, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.